Now if I can get it open. And here, I'll open this.
All right.
And here is where Grampy's governor lived.
All right.
Unfortunately, there's all kinds of things that shouldn't be there. Wildlife calling cards.
Yeah.
That's what that is. But the governor controls this thing, which controls how much fuel goes to the injectors, which governs the speed of the engine. And I suspect some of this stuff is froze up from sitting for a while.
Yeah.
And eventually, we should get in here with some oil and start getting these things all freed up. Now, how familiar or are you familiar at all with any of this stuff?
Not very familiar, but very eager to.
All right. Any ideas what this big thing here is?
It's the is it the exhaust manifold?
Well, you're close.
Yeah.
This is actually the exhaust manifold.
Okay.
And what it does, this is the dryer.
The dryer.
We
Okay.
put the dirty clothes in here, and we dry them in this thing. See, and then they shoot out the stack, and they're nice and clean.
All right.
All right. You know what a turbocharger is?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Takes the air and blows it into the engine.
Well, this is the side that runs the turbo.
All right.
This is the side that takes the air and puts it into the engine. This is your fresh air coming in down here. This is the exhaust air, and then the stack goes out the top.
All right.
Now, originally, it's so dirty up. Oh yeah, you can see it. You can see that there was something welded in up here, right up in here. See where something was welded in? Originally the stack sat over here and it was crosswise.
Yep.
Or longwise with the engine.
Yep.
It was air cooled. This is water cooled.
Yep.
This is much better.
Yeah, that I did know about
Okay.
about with the stack placement. About
Okay.
the air cooled versus water cooled.
All right. Originally this had a oil deal that sat on this. It was a 17 MG3 governor. Had a separate oil reservoir. We put a 17 MG6 on it, which didn't need it, so that's why this has nothing on it.
All right.
Okay. See those gears right there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Those are so I can turn the engine over by hand.
All right.
Okay. So this little deal here's got a hex thing on it, and you unbolt this, turn it down, and bolt it back in, overcome this spring, and there's some teeth here, and they engage those teeth. You can turn this with an air motor or a hand, and you can turn the diesel engine over. Like if you're working at setting the injectors, all that other kind of stuff, that's how that works. Okay.
All right.
This is the oil going to the turbo, to the bearings.
All right.
That's what that line is. This is water, I believe.
All right.
Or it might be oil, it might be a drain. No, that's water, because the water tank is up there. All right, there's the air intake right there, and I thought we could see the silencers on here, but I guess I can't see them right here. That obviously is the air compressor for the air compressor stuff.
Okay.
There's an oil filter that goes in here, in this big tube.
All right.
And that's an oil cooler, that big tank right through the wall there that somebody cut out by the wall.
All
That's
right.
an oil cooler.
All right.
There's been some haphazard stuff done on this thing, and it'd be nice to get it back to where it should be.
Oh yeah.
But I guess the most important thing, of course, is to get the governor. So we'll rustle down here a little bit and get a better look at the engine.
All right. Let me close the door here.
Yeah, you can close them or leave them open.
Now this.
Might induce me to come clean out some of the crud.
All right.
Okay, this of course is your crankshaft, a crankcase, and your crankshaft is down there. This is a water header, so that there's cooling water going around the cylinders in there.
Okay.
The cam is in this thing right here. And this sits on top of the cam, and these are the push rods for opening and closing the valves. And another part of the cam runs the injector, which puts the high pressure oil into there.
All right.
Now, Alco had a design you could you could pull out on these injectors and it would give them full fuel.
All right.
So you could test it. Boom, 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 boom. And you could tell how it was. These are oil drain downs. And of course, like I said, these are the push rods here. You can lock out a cylinder. If you got a bad cylinder, you can lock it out with this little lever right here. You never had such a feature like that on an EMD.
Well, that's really handy.
It is. It's a real good troubleshooting thing. And that is a water header up there. I believe the water went into that and came down and cooled and went back out. I think that's how the flow was. I'm not 100% sure, but something along those lines. Okay. There's where the plate went with all the info on it, and unfortunately the plates disappeared. So that was the American Locomotive Company plate. There's one of your bolts that bolts the engine down to the frame. There's gears in here, and they turn this camshaft like I was telling you about. And off of that is a tachometer. And this tachometer, if you get an overspeed, this little button will pop out, and you got to press that button back in to get it to work. EMDs have a lever on them. GEs have a button on them.
All right.
So now we're getting back into the main generator area, and this is actually the main generator. This is what actually produces the electricity for propulsion. Okay?
Yep.
But there's also two more generators in here. And there's this thing right here. This is an MG set, motor generator set. And it takes the control voltage, which is about 65 to 70 volts, and it runs a motor which turns a generator which makes alternating current at 400 cycles, 110 or 120 volts. And that's what does all this control stuff for the governors, this weird voltages.
All right.
Jim understood it, I don't.
All right.
Where's Jim when we need him?
I know. Well, I suppose you got to train somebody up on this stuff.
Well, I know enough to be dangerous, but I'm not an electrician. See, I'm in the belief that what I can't see can't hurt me.
Yep.
You did see that I brought the packet of information that he had on this guy?
No, I didn't see
I
that.
had it
There you go.
envelope and I had given it to Bob yesterday when he was here. Bristow.
All right. Well, hopefully Bob will get it to the right people. But Bob's not much involved with the diesels,
Okay.
but got to give it to somebody. All right. Here, come on. Oh, here.
Yep.
Open this. Here is an exciter. All right. Do you have any idea what excitation is? You got to excite the generator for it to make power. This produces the power to excite the generator. That other generator over there with the 5 belts going to it, that makes the low voltage electricity for all the control circuits, the headlights, charging the batteries, all that other stuff.
All right.
That's what that is. This was the last model that Alco made with belts. They redesigned this when they went from the RS2 to the RS3. They basically turned these around and they ran them off of the generator. So there were no belts. And we had a few of these engines with the belts on them on the sewer line, and they made the neatest, you know, the belts made a real interesting squeaking sound. It was pretty interesting. This is the back of the electrical locker, and somebody had cut all these original wires, mid-continent people trying to redo something, and this is why the engine is having all this trouble running.
Yeah.
So eventually we got to get this all figured out, what wire goes where, and get it back together again. That big thing down there is the traction motor blower to blow cool air into the motors to keep them from overheating. So that's what that is. Rheostats and zippostats and statostats and everything else up here. And then these are power cables and the traction motor. I think these are traction motor leads right here. And like I said, I'm not an electrician. There's supposed to be covers on this thing. I don't know where the covers are at right now, unless that's what was laying on the running board back there. That I'm not quite sure about. This is a Milwaukee Road steam engine style add-on of handrails.
All right.
Because I'll
Oh, yeah.
put these kind of handrails. So they're a little bit different. They're definitely different. That cover up there is for the fan up on the top. I don't know what it's doing laying back there.